All right, I see what you're trying to do. Talk shit about Trapped. Talk shit about Trapped. I know you want to.
Welcome everybody, this is Drinks with Johnny from Las Vegas, Nevada, where my guest today is currently residing at the New York for the Mad Apple Cirque du Soleil show. My good friend and very hilarious comedian, Brad Williams. How you doing today, man?
Thank you so much. I feel weird. It's the Drinks with Johnny podcast. The last time I was on the podcast, we definitely engaged in some bourbon. I believe we had some Whistle Pig.
That's great.
And today it's like, all right, you got the kombucha, I've got the water with the liquid IV, and we're very adult right now. Maybe we aged 8 years.
I think it was the pandemic we aged over to, and having kids.
Yeah, pandemic, kids, and then last night was the premiere of the aforementioned Mad Apple Cirque du Soleil show, and we had an after party, and I partook. So when you're like, hey man, you want some Maker's Mark? I'm like, no, I need to be smart. It's the middle of the day. We both have.
We're gonna be going to Rampage later.
Yeah, we're going to AEW. I'm rocking the shirt. Jericho and Aubrey Edwards, who is the ref at AEW, both came to the show last night. So yeah, I'm stoked to go out there and watch some wrestling.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be awesome. We went to Dynamite. You were busy, obviously, with Mad Apple that night.
Yep.
How did the premiere go? I know that before we hit the rolling here, you guys did some preview shows for the last few weeks. How's it been? Can you tell me a little bit about this Mad Apple stuff?
Absolutely. It's the first new Cirque du Soleil show since the pandemic, and the first Cirque du Soleil show to ever have stand-up comedians. When I say I'm in a Cirque du Soleil show, people go like, so you're wearing the tights? You're getting fired out of a cannon? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no.
That's fucking rude, people.
Yeah. Like, I'm just doing me. Like, I come out and I do stand-up. That's all I do. But I'm surrounded by the people that do the more traditional Cirque du Soleil stuff. But this show, the concept of it is it's the craziest one night you could ever have in New York City. Not necessarily the craziest night you or I have had in New York City. That would have to be certainly a different rating system. But the craziest night, it's got amazing acrobatics, the stuff that you know from Cirque. It's got singers, it's got a band, like the live music, and that really cranks it up. And then it has comedy. It has we got 4 comedians, and while they're setting up the Wheel of Death, I trot out there and I tell my jokes. So it's a good time. The crowds have been amazing. I wasn't sure how they were going to respond to stand-up comedy in a Cirque du Soleil show, because at a comedy club you know what you're getting.
Right.
People
are there to see comedy.
Yeah, they know, like, they're there to see a Cirque du Soleil show, and then I come out. It kind of brings me back to when I was kind of starting out, and I would do shows in sports bars, and like they would have the Laker game on. It would be the playoffs, and then they'd be like, yeah, you know it was a long time ago because the Lakers were in the playoffs.
Whoa. Don't be throwing hate at my Lakers.
No, dude. I'm a Laker guy too. It hurts. It hurts.
They were in last season.
Yeah. I know.
They got past the first round, but they were in last season.
We won the title like 2 seasons. Anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, so then they would just like turn off the game and be like, all right, it's time for the comedy show. And all the guys in the bar would be like, what? I'm here to get drunk and get away from my wife. What the fuck? Like, and watch the game. And then, we come out and start doing comedy. So it's kind of like that, but the reception has been great. Really fun. And the people who I wasn't quite sure how they would react to seeing a comedian have been awesome. It's been a really cool way to be received.
That sounds awesome to me. I've seen a few Cirque du Soleil shows. Were you a fan of Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, I saw Beatles Love, and that was incredible. Just because it's the Beatles music, and it's stuff like it's there. They had one time where this woman gets like spun up in the air, and it's all to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and it's just like this you just stare at it going like, if you're not already on mushrooms, you're like, I wish I was on mushrooms, because this is an experience.
So I'm gonna wait a little while till I get some mushrooms, and I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah. And there's a couple moments like that in our show in Mad Apple. The music is like they took a bunch of songs that are New York based, and but then redid them and put a different mood with them, and like they do. What's the Billy Joel song? New York State of Mind.
Oh, okay,
and then
they
like redid that, and now it's like a haunting version of it. And then you see this guy, his name is Valentine. He's a hand balancer, which sounds boring, but holy shit, he climbs to the top of this makeshift Empire State Building that we have.
Okay.
And he puts these 2 pegs on the very top of it. He's 30 feet in the air, and then he lifts himself up. So he's only holding himself on these 2 little sticks.
Holy
and
shit.
he's like doing these weird splits, and he's like holding with one hand, and like it's unreal, all while a haunting version of New York State of Mind is playing.
That sounds awesome.
It's legit awesome. Like it's cool that this show is something
We're going to this.
where I'm not like, oh yeah, it's like I have to say it's a good show. It's a good show. No, it's legit
enjoying it, and
a
it's like-
good show. We're in the back watching the other performers.
While you're not doing the stand-up in between, right?
Yeah.
You're like just a genuine fan watching,
Yeah,
right?
when you got there's another slower version of the song "Summertime," which is not necessarily a New York song, but and a guy is like tossing a woman up in the air, and like she does flips, and then he catches her. Like it's an incredible thing. I know you're kind of doing a sober October thing or like a cleanse or something
Yeah.
that. If you were to break,
That would be the time?
this would be the time. This would be. I'm not saying you have to.
No.
It's still a great show.
I got 6 months and I'm only a month in, so you're not gonna be able
okay.
to do it.
So.
But you know
we're
what?
early.
You
We're
know,
early.
hopefully the show keeps going and you keep going
Yeah.
with it as well.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and enjoy it that way next time.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 ways to enjoy this show, but no, it's been great so far. And when they called me to do it, at first I was like, I'm not doing a Cirque du Soleil. Like that. Well, honest to God, my first thought was, you're asking a dwarf to be in a circus. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's so insulting. And then they're like, no, it's not because of that. It's because we think you're funny. And then I'm like, okay. And then,
Better not be.
Yeah. If I'm coming out in a goddamn clown outfit, I am not gonna be happy. But then they explained the whole concept to me and explained what I'd be doing. And the coolest part as a comedian is that the guy who created the show, his name is Simon. I asked him like, hey, this is your show. It's a Cirque du Soleil show. There's like a theme. I go, what kind of material do you want me to do? Are you guys gonna write me material? Like, how's that gonna work? And he kind of looked at me like I was the moron. And he goes, I want you to be fucking funny. Like that's
That
it.
was the only direction you got
he's
from
like,
him?
that's it. Like, okay, so any direction? He's like, no, just you know what funny is. Be fucking funny. And I
Wow.
go, yes. Because if any time a comedian works anywhere outside of a comedy club, whether it be a TV show, a corporate gig, a college gig, or whatever, you're just handed that list of shit that you can't say, not allowed to talk about, avoid this stuff. We want you to be edgy, but non-offensive. I'm like, those are completely opposite things. You can't do both.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh my God. There was a time I was booked on a TV show. I'll throw him under the bus. I don't care. The show was the remake of the show To Tell the Truth on NBC, like the game show where like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you try to figure it anyway. But so they added me as a bit, and they called the bit A Little White Lie. And I would come out, I'm the little white lie, because I'm white.
Wow.
Yeah, and I
How
came
long
out-
ago was this?
This is like right before pandemic, so like 2019.
Oh, shit.
So I would come out, and then I would tell lies about the celebrities that were the judges. The lies were basically roast jokes. You know?
Okay.
You know, so I would tell lies about them. It killed in the room. Audience was going crazy. A lot of repeat audience members were like looking forward to
Yeah.
it. We shoot the entire season. I'm there for like 2 weeks straight. And then on the last day, the NBC censor comes up and goes, yeah, we're cutting Little White Lie. And I'm like, what?
You're like, I was okay with it.
I was okay with it. He's like, nah, and it's just that thing where, and I hate this. Like, I have a pet peeve about this in arguments in general. It's when someone presents an argument, someone completely disproves the argument, tells them why they're incorrect, and proves it, and then the person doesn't come back with anything, just doubles down. So basically, the guy was like, well, it's offensive. And I explained to him in detail why it is not. Like, yes, I am little. Yes, I am white. Yes, the whole thing I'm doing is I'm telling lies about these people, and it's funny. It's killing in the room. You're worried about offending little people. I'm the little person.
Right.
I'm not offended. Like, I did this whole thing, and then he just stops and goes, yeah, well, we just think it's going to be offensive. And it's like, well, fuck off then.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I can do if I just, like, I can't change your mind.
That's so interesting because it obviously shows like just how scared they are of a group coming out, even if you're part of said group.
Even if I'm part of the group, even if it's me going like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm in this group. Like, I can tell you.
Did you say like you would take the brunt of that?
Yeah.
Of the backlash
I told him it's all on me. It's not on you guys.
Yeah.
I'm the one who agreed to it. I'm the one doing the jokes. They're not going to think, well, this is NBC. Like, they're going to think, oh, this is Brad doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe, I don't know what the mentality is. As a stand-up comic, I've come to the realization, and I'm okay with it, that not everyone is going to find me funny. Mm-hmm. And not everyone should. If
everyone has different brands and genres of everything that they like. No one's not going to like every music I put out,
exactly.
every podcast I put out, everything like that.
And there's stuff that you put out that where you go, oh, that might not even, like, you have to be in a certain mood for your type of music. Like, I'm sorry, I love Avenged Sevenfold. I can't wake up in the morning and be like, all right, 6:30 a.m. I haven't had my coffee yet. Let's go, Bat Country. Like, it just.
Well, you have the coffee with that.
Yeah. Now on the drive to work, hell yeah,
all right,
that's when I crank it.
You got it back.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I told you I would come out to Hail to the King all the time.
Yeah.
But like, people are allowed to not like stuff, and in a world nowadays where there's so many niches, like whatever you're into, you can find your group.
Right.
Whether that be stuff that you're into sexually, or something that you're into entertainment-wise, something that you're into. Like, there's a group for you that will accept you. There's still people out there like, no, everyone has to like this, and it's like,
well, that doesn't make sense. I agree with you. It doesn't make. And you brought up the niches too, and what's interesting about that is those niches are getting bigger and bigger with everyone being able to communicate with each other. The problem I see is that some of these niches is it's going back to like middle school when you'd argue about music and stuff. It's like, if I don't like it, I'm going to find something wrong with it. It's like, there might not be anything wrong with it, you just don't fucking like it.
Yeah, there's certain comedians out there that I will say that I do not find funny. Does that mean they are not funny? Not at all. Because they're selling out a stadium. They're selling out a football stadium. A basketball.
Who are you talking about?
All right, I see what you're trying to do. Talk shit about Trapped. I know you want to. We love you, Trapped.
They're nice guys. I think I met them years ago.
Yeah,
I think
anyway.
I did.
But yeah, so like, but I'm never gonna say they're not funny, because obviously, if you're selling out a theater, a stadium, or whatever, you're funny to those people, and that's awesome. Like, if you don't like my comedy, fine, totally fine. You can watch Jim Gaffigan. He's cleaner, he's safer, and hilarious. You know, you can watch Brian Regan, who's a goddamn genius. If you want something a little edgier, you can watch a Jim Jeffries or a Ricky Gervais, Dave Chappelle. Like, there's so many genres. It's like, and it's the same thing with music, where it's like, sometimes I want to hear Motown. Yes,
I'm glad you brought that. Just like the genres at the right time and place, right? Just because you can like all of these things at different times, right?
Yeah, and in different times of your life. Just because you like a certain type of music. Dude, I discovered Anderson .Paak 3 months ago. I love Anderson .Paak. So late.
He was at the show last night, right?
He was at the show last night.
I saw your post this morning.
Yeah, and he came
awesome,
in.
Man.
He was the nicest guy. I had seen Silk Sonic, which is him and Bruno Mars.
Right.
I saw them like 2 weeks ago here in Vegas, and oh my God, what a show! I'm so late to the Anderson .Paak party, and
Do they have a residency? Because I heard someone else coming out. Oh.
Yeah, Park MGM. They do it for.
Might extend my stay.
Dude, it is a show.
Dude, I love Anderson .Paak.
It is very like.
First time I saw him was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And that was my first introduction to him. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And then I started listening to the records and learning about his talent, where he came from, and I'm like, this dude's legit.
Came from drums, producing, and like the show is him. And it's very like old school Vegas, like it's the Temptations, but with like updated music. They have the like old school outfits. They're doing like the choreography, like the old school like stuff. But the sound is so great. And the show I was at, Janelle Monáe was actually in the audience.
Oh.
And they saw her, and they called her up, and she sang Treasure with Anderson and Bruno.
She went up cold?
Yeah.
Fucking good for her.
Yeah, and belted it. And
Just killed it?
I'm sure you have this. Do you ever see certain people and go, you're not allowed to be that talented? Like, you can't be that good.
Every time I look in the mirror, Brad. No, I see that all the time. It's not fair. Right. You're kind of like, man, I'm struggling over here for the one thing I'm kind of good at.
Yeah, kind of good at. Yeah, and then you're just like, I think about that whenever I see like an actor host Saturday Night Live, and I go, oh, it's an actor, it's not going to be that funny, and then they're funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you.
Like a Justin Timberlake who could just like do it
Yeah,
all.
it was like, oh, you can sing, you can dance, you can act, and you can be funny, like, and kill it funny. Oh, fuck you, Justin.
Oh, not only that, and the behind the
jealous.
scenes, speaking of Anderson Paak, he works with Anderson Paak on the Sing soundtracks and stuff. He's the music director of those movies, which have great soundtracks. I'm sure you know having a kid now.
Kids, yeah. Oh, man. Now, I would always laugh at my friends who would have kids, and they'd be like, oh, man, I've watched this one movie every day, and I go, that's not going to be me with that is me with my daughter.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
No, right now it's the old school Disney Robin Hood.
The one where he's like a
Fox.
Fox, that's right.
He's a
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah.
Oh, I can tell you every line of that fucking movie. Every day, every day she has like she can watch a little TV in the morning and a little TV at night before she goes to bed, and we're like, all right, what do you want to watch? Foxes. She calls it Foxes. She was like, I want to watch Foxes, and I'm like, all right. I'm trying to get her into other stuff.
And this is why parents drink.
Yeah, because that's and you start noticing shit in these movies because you've seen them now so many times, so you can like micro analyze them. Where you're like, like I started noticing that the animation in one of the songs, it's the song about Prince John. They use the exact same animation as the Jungle Book when Baloo is dancing with King Louis.
Yeah.
They use the exact same animation.
What do you mean, like the same drawing?
The same drawing, the same moves. There's a dance that Baloo or that Lil Jon does with a chicken who's called Lady Cluck. We're getting in the weeds here.
Oh, I love this.
And like if you laid that on top of Baloo dancing with King Louis, it's the same dance. It's the same.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't even high when
you realized that?
Yeah, I was like watching, going, I know that move, and then I watched the other one. I'm like, and then like you feel so validated, but then at the same time you're like, what did that prove?
Yeah, no,
nothing.
It didn't change the movie whatsoever.
No, I can't go to my wife and be like, I discovered this, and she's like, you're a genius. It's like no, that.
But don't you do that? Like I do that with like when I'm watching movies, I notice stuff. I go to my wife and I'm like, did you see that? And she's like, what? And then I have to like rewind it and explain it to her, and she's like, why did we just go through this?
Why did we do
like because it was fucking killing me.
Because
like watching Ninja Turtles, if you watch the old cartoons of those, they have like the wrong voice with the wrong fucking Ninja Turtle sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
drives me nuts.
I would go nuts about that. I would do the same thing, like, have you seen it? And everyone would be like, yeah, and we don't care. I'd be like, I don't know why you are. God. Parenthood.
Yes. Well, so when do you think you're gonna let your daughter watch some of your comedy?
Oh my God.
Have you thought of this yet?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I think it has to be, well, like, but the thing is like nowadays, it used to be where, like, if you were in the Misfits, you could control when your kid would find out about the Misfits.
Oh, this is true. I see where you're going.
But like nowadays, you can't control it. Like you can't control like when someone by the time she gets to school, they'll probably be beaming hologram videos from YouTube like onto the table.
Yeah.
It'll be like Star Wars, like help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, like it'll be like that, and someone will be like, oh, I saw your dad, pick you up. I didn't know Brad was your dad. Did you know he? And like just start playing my jokes where I'm saying the word cunt a lot, and that's not gonna go well. It'll be something where, because how many kids do you have?
I just have the one.
You just have the one, and how old is he?
He's 5 now.
He's 5. Okay, so he's not into Avenged Sevenfold yet. Or?
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh, he is.
Since he was.
Does he know
really
it's
young.
you? Because sometimes
he
they can hear
does,
stuff.
but I don't think he literally gets it. Like he knows it's me. I tell him.
Yeah.
I've shown him videos and stuff.
He's got
from a
live
very
show.
young. He
Yeah.
hasn't seen a live show yet that he
Okay.
remembers. He was very young the last time I had him out on the road.
Got it.
But to that point, it is different because with music, also it's just funnier. I mean, I have him singing "It's Your Fucking Nightmare" when he was like, as early as he was able to speak. We'd play that song, and I'd make videos of him doing. And actually, the surprising thing is one of the videos I caught him doing, he was actually in key, and I was like, wow,
Whoa.
all right, this is
There
pretty
you
cool.
go. There you go.
Anyways, I digress from that. But like to that point though, it's like with music and stuff, it's more, he's gonna hear bad words and stuff. He's gonna think it's cool,
Yeah.
but he's not gonna know what little piece of heaven is about until he gets a little bit older anyway.
Yeah, because
There's a little subtlety in music that you can get away
you find out. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had these moments where you find out a song that you liked as a kid. I'm like, oh, that's what that song is about.
all the time.
Oh, young girl, get out of my mind. You're like, oh God, this is wrong. You better run, girl.
There's a lot of stuff. You go back. I mean, Mongo Jerry is one of my favorite songs in the summertime. And like one of the lines is, if her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, do what you feel. I don't think you can get away with that one these days. That's a. If she's poor, you just do whatever the fuck you want with her. Apparently.
That's a really fun thing.
It's a great song though. I mean, I'm sorry, but the music itself, the jam I used to listen. It was funny. I would listen to it in the summertime. I was like, "This is a great summertime jam." And one time I was like, "Wait, what did he just say?"
Yeah. One of my opening acts is a great guy, great comic. His name is JB Ball. He was singing a Bruce Springsteen song, and I was like, "Oh, I got a Springsteen song." He's like, "What?" And I showed him the "Hey little girl, is your daddy home?" And I'm just, I'm on fire. And I played that for him. And he's like, "Why the fuck did you play me that song?"
You just ruined it for me.
You just ruined Springsteen for me. Yeah, that's
It
always
was a different time, people.
that's always a fun game to go back and listen to songs. I don't know who sings the song, but it's like an old school doo-wop girl group like the Supremes. It's like in the 60s or 70s. And the first line of the song is, "He hit me and it felt like a kiss."
So needless to say, these aren't songs that you want your daughter to listen to.
So to go full circle, like, I don't know, I'll have to sit her down and be like, "Hey, you know who Dad is.
Yeah.
You know who I am. You know I love you. You know how I am around you. This is," and it's true. On stage, me is a character.
Right.
It's not who I am. It's parts of me, but it's the volume turned way up that I would never bring into contemporary society, or else I'd be an asshole. So I'll have to have that conversation and show it to her. Hopefully she likes it. Hopefully she is happy, and it'll be fine for me if she just goes, "Oh, okay," and then just has no interest whatsoever.
Right.
Goes off and be like, "Yeah, but you're not funny like Powerpuff Girls." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
What would you prefer though? Because I often wonder that too. Like, would it feel great for my son to, if I put myself in that position, like, would it be great for my son to be a fan of what I do?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be more like my wife, who really doesn't give a fuck? And which one do I want? Because with my wife, I actually kind of enjoy that she's with me for me. She understands it.
Yeah.
That she doesn't hate it or anything like that. She likes certain things, right?
Yeah.
But it's not what she's around for.
Yeah, she's around for you. My wife's the same way. So I don't know what I would prefer. I would like to just be able to kind of riff with my daughter at some point, where I'm telling jokes, you're firing it back at me, and like it's good. Like So I don't want to do something where like I try to joke with my daughter and she just goes, Dad, and like stop, and I'm like, fuck, and like you're no fun.
But that's probably gonna happen. You realize that, right?
At some point. At some
I don't
point.
think that that changes whether you're a comedian or not. There's still gonna be moments where you're just not cool and it doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm fully aware of this. I don't think I'm cool now. I mean, hell, I got a photo on my Instagram of me hanging out with Anderson Paak, but that just means Anderson Paak is cool. Not, and I'm just lucky, and he takes photos with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm fully aware that from what I've been told from my other friends who have kids, and because I have a baby girl, they always say like, oh no, girls are way easier at first. Like from 0 to 10 to 12, girls are easier. Then once preteen, teenage years kick in, girls are impossible. And then boys are chill, boys are cool, and then they all kind of meet back up at age like 22, 23.
I've heard the same. I've seen the same from my nephews and nieces and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, they're easier now. I have a son, so I'm kind of like, I'm more of a let's rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy. I'm like right now I'm in the thick of it. He's a fucking asshole sometimes. But like other times, I mean, he's still sweet and I love him. But like, he can be a fucking jerk sometimes. He's a teenager right now. He's 5. He's a teenager. I'm like, why are you arguing with me all the time? And I realize that I'm the adult and I shouldn't be arguing with him.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it happens, man.
But yeah, but comes around and then you end up swapping that way.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually, I told my wife we're gonna get that phone call one day when she's 23, 24. That just goes, oh, you guys were right. You guys were, and I'm just. That's the phone call.
Do you think that's ever? I'm not sure that's ever going to happen for me. I just think it's always just I'm always going to be wrong.
Now, because kids always like to rebel, so I'm curious if your son will look at you with like the rock and the tattoos and the stuff like that and the piercings and shit, and will he rebel against that and be like, no, I'm gonna dress like one of the members of the Hives. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a suit like every day. Like I'm gonna wear a skinny tie suit every day and listen to Timberlake.
You know, it's hard to say because right now, like I'm sure it is right now for you and your daughter. I'm just a hero in anything that I do, so they're all imitating right now. So it's hard to say. I don't know what his path is gonna be.
Yeah, it's exciting though. The one thing that I've been excited to be a parent in so many ways, but. The one thing is like I'm excited to be like, ooh, what is she gonna be into? What is she gonna like? What is the thing like? I took to sports really fast and comedy and things like that. Like, what's she gonna be into? The first time she saw a piano, she looked at it and was like, play, and I was like, cool. And I put her up on the stool and I started holding her, and she started. Like, at first she was banging the piano, and then she's like, oh, it makes different, and then you could literally see the gears turning in her head, like, she would hit that note's different from that note, and she started, like, doing that, and I'm like, oh, is this her thing?
Yeah.
Is this the thing she's gonna be into? Like you kind of get excited, like, oh, this might be a thing, like, if your son watches basketball and just goes, oh, this is awesome, and then you're like, oh, you might like basketball, and then we can watch
whatever it is,
together.
like whatever it is, that's what your job is, right? Introduce them to everything, find the cool things, and be like, hopefully you in line with some of them, and you can do them together. You know?
Yeah. You just hope it's something that you don't necessarily have to like it as a parent, but you just have to not hate it. Like, if she's into something that's a neutral for me. Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking
That's soccer. That's soccer right now.
Soccer. Hell yeah.
Soccer's all right. I don't completely hate it, so I'm like, all right, cool. And he's pretty good at it. So I'm like, all right, let's go.
You watch him. I'm sure 5-year-old soccer is like.
It's very competitive.
It's like bees just all swarming around the ball, and the ball just moves around the field like that.
There's a couple of kids out there that are pretty freaking good though, like already. Like they have older siblings though.
Okay, and they're like teaching them what to do and stuff.
Yeah,
man. See, I'm stoked for that stuff.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, if one of my friends was like, "Oh man, are you gonna be able to like go to like dance recitals and piano recitals?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go."
That's what you signed up for, right?
Yeah, I'll hold a sign. I'll be like a wrestling fan in the audience just with a sign, like hell yeah.
That's what you want to be, like the supportive parent. Like his first season of soccer. I came out with a big giant Bluetooth speaker and we'd play Eye of the Tigers. Team's name was the Tigers while they're warming up. When they score a goal, I'd play Katy Perry's Roar.
Come on.
I videotaped the whole thing and put a video together for all the parents.
That's awesome, man.
I didn't do that this season, though. I got lazy. But the first season, I was all about it.
I love hearing stuff like that, man. See, that's fun.
It is.
That's fun.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, you think back to, like, a lot of the old school parent mentality of, like, you know, kids should be seen but not heard, and then like I don't have to go to your games, or you know, whatever. It's like, no, like I look at that stuff and be like, no, it's fun.
No, I want to do this. It's not like I feel obligated.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to miss that stuff.
Yeah, I remember my dad. He came to some of my hockey games. I played hockey as a kid. That's right. Death Wish. Let's go.
That's awesome.
And when he came to the first game, he hadn't come to a few games and because of his work, and then he came to a game. He's just like, this is great. Like he was looking at the other parents like, you guys know how awesome this is. We're like, yeah, we've been here for 4 games now. Like, and he's like, this is awesome. And then he was trying to get to every game that he could. Now it's like, dude, if I'm on the road and she's got something, I'm gonna send in one of those like robots with the iPad,
right.
and then like I'm gonna FaceTime. And I'll be like there.
That's a good point though. That technology, we could actually be able to do that in our profession. That's
yeah,
gonna be great.
Hell, I saw Paul McCartney a few weeks ago, and when he busted into Hey Jude, I FaceTimed my mom, and then I watched Hey Jude with my mom at the concert, and that was a really cool moment.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's like now with technology, yes, technology, you know, makes our society worse in a lot of ways, but then there are certain ways where it's like, oh no, you can use this shit for good.
It's a tool, you know. It's a poor craftsman who blames his tools, is the old adage. And don't blame the tool, just figure out how to frickin' use it.
Yeah. A claw hammer can be a murder weapon, but
it's not what it was designed for.
It was designed for. It's actually a very helpful tool, and not collecting insurance money. So it's good.
Man, I wanted to talk. We've been talking a little. Motown keeps coming up in this conversation.
Yeah.
And you know where I'm going with this. We saw each other at Chris Santos and Natalie's wedding.
Shout out to Chef Chris Santos. You may know him as a judge from the show Chopped. In his various restaurants. He's like the rock and roll metal chef that doesn't look like Guy Fieri. Shout out to Guy Fieri. That's some good shit. Guy Fieri's airport bar in Burbank. I just discovered this. At the Burbank Airport, Guy Fieri has a few little restaurants. He's got a bar in the airport that has Pappy.
Really?
It has Pappy
in the airport?
In the Burbank Airport. I have so many questions.
Yeah, what?
I'm like,
how many flights even go in and out of the Burbank Airport?
And I'm like, I want to see the guy that rolls up to the bar.
The guy?
Or the girl. Or
the
Guy Fieri. Oh, I mean, see, I don't even know what I'm doing half the damn time. I want to see the dude or the chick that rolls up at like a 7 a.m. flight, gets there at 5:30, and just goes, Pappy. I'm like, oh, you've got money, B, you've got a day ahead of you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I don't want to see that guy. I want to be that guy.
Yeah, right. Even more so, you just because you can get like a breakfast sandwich and a thing of Pappy, and I asked the bartender, like, yeah, we sell the bottles too. I'm like,
you sell the bottles?
Sort of bottles. I mean, they're insanely,
of course,
which Pappy always is. But but sorry. So we got off on the celebrity chef rant, but I just discovered that a few weeks ago. One of these days, I'm gonna roll into that Guy Fieri bar and be like, give me some Pappy. Let's go.
I hope to be there with you. We could get some Pappy together.
Let's go some Pappy.
Let's not even get flights.
just show up, go past security. Where are you guys going? That bar.
Guy Fieri.
We're going to the Guy Fieri bar, and
maybe he'll invite us after he sees this.
I hope he does. I've met him one time before at the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game, and he's, you know what? Talk shit all you want about the man. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy, fun guy. Does a lot of money for charity. Raises a lot of money for charity, and especially during the pandemic, he helped out restaurant workers like an insane amount. And he's just a good dude. It's like one time I did a show, and this is back like in the mid 2000s, and Ashley Simpson was in the audience.
Okay.
And this was right after like the SNL lip sync.
Yeah.
Oh. And I go on stage and I noticed her and I made a couple of jokes about it. And when the show was done, she came up and was just so nice. And so you're like, damn it! I wanted to hate you. I wanted you to be a bad human, and then I would like have these stories about like, oh, Ashley Simpson.
Yeah.
But she was insanely kind, and she got the jokes. She laughed, and it was just like, oh, you're cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're cool, but I'm kind of disappointed. But yeah, back to the original thing.
Well, Guy, we got onto Guy because we were talking about Chris Santos'
Yep.
wedding, another celebrity chef, a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah.
And we were at the wedding, which was awesome, by the way.
Amazing wedding.
Just from opening tip, it was pretty awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
great wedding. The ceremony was good. The officiant was awesome. Just walking to it, you saw the carnival going on.
Yeah, and at first, of course, this carnival is set up, and we're walking past it, and I look at it, I go, Chris doesn't. He doesn't want me to work this carnival.
You're always worried that someone wants you to work like that.
I see a carnival and well, there's fucking stilt walkers and fire breathers, and I'm sitting there like, oh, now I know why he invited me.
Yeah,
it's because I'm gonna put on a 3-foot hat and start barking. So yeah, it's like my carnival instincts.
I did see you go down the slide. What do you call those slides where you wear the
like
potato
a sack? Yeah, what you call it is awesome.
Yeah.
What you call it is fun. Yeah, he had a carnival at his wedding.
Yeah,
and that
wasn't even the biggest part.
That wasn't even the biggest thing. So think about like my wedding. I had a great band, fucking killer band. They were all session musicians. I had seen them at another wedding. Killed it, kept everyone dancing the whole time. I'm like, that's a good band. And then I hired them, and they were awesome. Everyone complimented me on the band. My band had shit on this band, on the Santos band.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say it.
Well, no, I've talked about it already at this point, but the Paul Stanley and his, what was it, Soul Siren? Soul.
Someone with a phone.
I just remember. We just talked about it last night too, and someone Soul Station. Okay.
Soul Station
is his band, full of amazing musicians, studio cats, traveling musicians, the backup singers. All these guys are very accomplished, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Paul Stanley singing old school Motown and R&B covers. Oh. And like at first you're like, well, that's he's having fun, that's cool. And then you hear it, you're like, no, he's good killing it. He's good at it.
It's a passion project.
Yeah.
And whether it be Paul Stanley with this band, or I know like Billy Joe Armstrong has a side band, or like I love musicians that have side bands. Like they have their successful band, then they have their side band, because what that tells me is, oh, you really love doing this.
Right.
You really love playing music, where you're in Green Day, and how busy are you? And then when you have off time, you're like, yeah, then I play this music, which also makes me happy. And I love playing, like.
Well, that goes back to like the different genres though too, right?
Yeah.
Kiss is very different than Otis Redding.
He's in Kiss, and then he's like, all right, now we're gonna play some Sam Cooke. And you're like, fuck yes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Is there anybody who does that in comedy?
Oh, man. Oh, who does like...
They're in a certain genre of comedy and then go off and do... Or is that kind of frowned upon or looked differently in comedy?
I don't think it'd be frowned upon. The closest thing I could think of without really sitting down is Tom Segura does his show.
Yeah.
And then Tom speaks fluent Spanish. So he'll do shows at smaller venues. That's Tom Segura in Español. And he does the whole show in Spanish. And when you try to buy a ticket, they warn you many times, it's in Spanish. This is in Spanish. It's all Spanish. Do not think you're going to come up here.
Does he change the jokes, or is he just translating?
I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know. But I was at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas, and I was on a show that was on after his show. which was Segura in Espanol. I don't know why I did the accent there. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, no.
I'm that prick. Oh,
you were fine until you called yourself out on it.
Yeah. I spent my summers in Barcelona. Oh, fuck you. You don't get the lisp.
We all know that guy.
You don't get the lisp your S's. We spent one summer in Spain. Anyway, so he was doing the jokes and it was killing. So I think for him that's a passion project to where I don't want to necessarily speak for him, but he's got plenty of success doing stand up for the theaters and stadiums that he's doing right now, and then he does this little side passion project that it just makes him happy doing comedy and in Spanish. So that's the closest thing I could think of off the top of my head. But I love that Paul Stanley, Kiss, Fire, Axes, Spitting Blood, all that.
Everything.
Love Gun, you know what I mean? Like all that shit. And then
song.
He's like, yeah, but I was raised in Michigan and I love Motown music, so I'm gonna do a side. And you could tell he was having fun. He wasn't up there at a wedding like, fuck, I can't believe I'm playing this wedding.
Right.
Like, because I'm sure you've done some corporate gigs or some favors
We've
or
done
some.
just one corporate gig.
Just one corporate gig?
Yeah,
a lot of corporations don't like Avenged Sevenfold.
Well, no, I just don't think we've ever said yes to any other one. One of them was a friend in the gaming industry.
Okay.
So we did one, but
Yeah.
every other time we've been asked for stuff like that, we've respectfully declined.
Now, yeah. I mean, if someone came in with a paycheck that was like, all right.
I don't know, man.
Like,
not at this stage. Maybe back in the day.
But yeah, I've definitely done gigs where I'm like, okay, I think about the paycheck, Brad.
Yeah.
And you do, but it didn't seem like Paul was doing that at all. It seemed like Paul was having a great time, and that just made it better.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out too, because my impression, obviously, I don't know this for sure. It's my speculation. That's all it is that it seemed like he was probably, he's friends with Chris, obviously, and it seemed to me that he probably, everyone's like, oh, I wonder how much it would cost to get Paul Stanley and Soul Station to play. It's
probably more than Chris paid.
Definitely more than Chris paid,
yeah.
And it probably wouldn't happen for anybody else.
Right.
Or maybe it would, but my point is, like, my impression is that it was like, Paul doesn't need the money. He's doing it for fun.
Yeah.
So he probably said, hey, cover my band and my crew.
Yeah.
We'll call it even.
Yeah.
That would be my impression.
Yeah. And I hope that's the case. And if not, either way.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
I saw you right up close to the stage with me. You were on the right side. I was on the left side. I was dancing with my wife. You were dancing with your wife.
Yeah, just going like, how fucking cool is this?
And I'm not one of the guys that usually brings out my camera or my phone rather for that stuff. And I was like, look, everyone had their phones out. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm not going to do it. And finally, it went into Smokey Robinson. And I was like, gonna have to get a little bit of this.
That's when I pulled out mine, too, on Tracks of My Tears.
Yes, exactly.
Tracks of My Tears. I'm like, oh, okay.
I got to get a little bit of this.
So, okay, this is a strange transition, or maybe not, I don't know. But you mentioned the phones. I'm curious, how do you guys view the phones at live shows? Because when I'm at a concert, like, my intention is, okay, go get a photo at the concert, maybe take a little video of your favorite song or a hit song, and that's it. That's done. I don't like to be the guy that's just the whole time doing that, because you're not.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, as the band, view that?
I mean, as a band, I mean, we're 5 different members with 5 different brains, so like
Sure.
I don't want to speak directly for each individual or anything, but for myself, it's kind of like, I get it. For some people, that's how if that's how you enjoy the show, right on. It's not, that would be the last way that I would ever enjoy a show. I want to be there for it. I'm not. Yeah, it's fun to look back on photos and videos that you have, especially now that I have a family. Like, I'd like to go back in that, but I want to be in the moment. Yeah. So for me, it's like, I guess if you're asking, like, when I'm on stage or like looking out to the crowd and stuff like that, someone's got the phone over there the whole time. I'm indifferent about it. Yeah. The only feeling I really have is more sadness for them, that's the way that they enjoy things, and it's just different. But back to how everyone has you do you. Yeah. Like, that's kind of how it is.
It doesn't affect your happiness. I mean, yeah, and it's obviously different music than comedy, because for me, if I see someone holding up a phone and recording, I'm like, oh, I'm working on this joke. Like, I literally can't have this out, or I'm going to try
because you're working
something.
shot out in front of crowds. We're not working stuff out.
No,
We're going
it's
out
like,
there.
you're playing certain songs. You're like, this is how this song goes. We're not looking at each other like, should we go E?
I mean, there are some bands that do that, but that's not been my experience.
All right.
But I will say, early on in the phone holding up stages, when the phones had way shittier quality cameras, way shittier quality audio, that used to bum me out, because then they would post their shit to YouTube, and it would be a terrible representation of our show.
It looks horrible. It looks.
Now at least the iPhone 13 Pro. You got an iPhone 13 Pro out there?
Dude.
Put me in cinematic mode, make it look fucking awesome.
Bam. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, and then of course, like as a comic, I don't want people to post clips, and then when they do post clips, sometimes they'll cut off the joke like before the punchline. I'm like, there was no payoff. Now they think I suck. They heard people being quiet for 12 seconds, and they're like, well, he's not very funny. It's like, there was the joke coming.
Not going to the improv this week.
Yeah, the joke was fucking there. That drives me insane.
I'll bet, man. Getting into more of the music and comedy, there's two questions I wanted to circle back to on this. We were talking about you guys have a live band playing at this Mad Apple.
Yeah.
How are they like? Is it kind of like old school? They're underneath the stage playing, or are they like up on the stage?
On the stage.
And who's the music? Do you have a music director, obviously?
Yes.
Who's that?
I forget what his real name is, but his stage name is Charlie Black. Charlie is spelled with like an X. Great guy, insanely talented. And I think like he is like great uncle was Nat King Cole or something like that. And, and he comes from
music, from a
good
musical
stock.
family.
You know what I mean? And he's insanely talented. Like how he has organized these songs, and then he also performs them. He's on stage. He's like sort of the main music performer throughout the show.
Okay.
And the live band is because I've seen O at the Bellagio. O is a amazing show.
Is that the water one?
That's the water one. Yeah.
I have seen that one as well.
And unreal show. And they also have a live band, but they're like tucked in and you can't see them. Now I found out recently that's because the humidity of the water, it ruins the instruments or the reeds or something like that. That's one of the main reasons why they're like protected and in a separate area. But our musicians are on the stage, several performances, they come out. They're at the edge of the stage. They come out in the audience. Like there's a guy with a saxophone the size of me, and he's like not very impressive. And then he walks and he's like doing that like all throughout the aisles. Like so the music like it's part
through the aisles.
It.
He's in the
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It's part of it, and you feel it.
How many members are part of this band?
You have you have the drummer. You have the keyboardist. I'd say like 6 or 7.
Okay, so it's not like
Trumpet,
a full like orchestra or something.
Yeah,
like that.
you have guitar and saxophone. Yeah, like
guitar. Now I'm really interested.
Yeah, and she's great. She used to actually play with the aforementioned Janelle Monáe.
Oh, okay.
She was with her band. So she's awesome. And then she plays the trombone, and it's great. Like I love that they made the music such an emphasis, because you think of New York, that's a big part of New York is the music, and they definitely emphasize that. They emphasize the comedy. That's such a strong part of the New York scene, or all the famous comedy clubs there. It's really like this hybrid of like a Cirque show, but then bands, singers, DJs, magicians, comedians. Like I've been describing it as a Cirque show for people with ADD. Like, okay, you don't like music? Cool. First of all, you're an idiot. Secondly, okay, here's an incredible acrobat. Do it. Here's two guys that juggle each other with their feet. It's an insane thing. And then, oh, you don't like that? Cool. We have comedians. Oh, you don't like that? Here, it's like
it's a buffet.
We have everything.
Yeah.
Enjoy, sample other things, learn some new stuff. We have a comedian magician. I've seen this trick now 12 times, and I'm still just like, how the fuck does he do this trick? His name is Harrison Greenbaum, and I don't want to say
well,
what
yeah,
the trick is.
You can't say what the trick is. You can't, but like
it's mind blowing.
Okay,
it is. But where you're like, how the fuck did he do that? Like some magic tricks, especially magic tricks done on a large stage, I can go, okay, I don't know exactly how they did it, but I have an idea of how you might accomplish that. This one, I have no fucking clue whatsoever. I don't even know where it begins, where it ends. Like, I don't.
That's exciting.
I don't know. And even before the show, there's close-up magic rooms that are like out in the lobby area, and we have this other magician who's just, what he can do with cards, ridiculous. Like
Gambit style from the X-Men?
Yeah, kinda. Like he can do he does a thing like pick a card, any card. Like you pick the card, you throw it back in the deck, and then all of a sudden he's shuffling, and then your card just comes flying out of the deck, and then he catches it and goes at you, and you're just like, how the what?
That's awesome.
And
is he doing that? Is he doing that stuff with you guys in the backstage area too?
So we have the magicians in the show actually share a dressing room with the comedians.
Okay.
So oftentimes we're getting like private magic shows, and the same way you would want to be in a room with a bunch of really great comedians talking about comedy, musicians talking about music, being in a room with magicians talking about magic, A, there's so many code words. B, it's like they're all trying to impress each other, and they're all trying to do tricks that is going to blow, because if you can fool the magician, that's the ultimate trick, right? And so they're all trying to, and man, we're like
pretty competitive back then.
Yeah, I wish that people could see some of the magic
I want
tricks.
to see some of that.
Yeah, that they're pulling out in the backstage when they're like, and they've taught me not how to do tricks, but like especially with the card tricks, they've taught me like concepts of like, okay, here's a trick you can do that helps with other tricks, and they teach it to me, and I'm still like, yeah, but the only way to do this is to literally sit in your room for hours and practice that. Yeah. Like they taught me how to do the thing where there's no card in your hand, you do that, and then there's a card.
Okay.
And they taught me how to do it, and I can't do it. I can't, like, I have to.
Now, did you ask him? Because I've been curious about that too. Mm-hmm. I assume the same as you just said. Yeah. They must just be spending hours honing that craft.
Yeah.
But like in a lot of different entertainments, there are the freaks that just pick things up and can just do it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. How much can I reveal here? Because it's like,
no, we don't want to reveal too much. Everyone's got to go check out Mad Apple.
Yeah, because it's really like a different art. But
of course.
I will say very similarly how if you get enough comedians in a room, we'll eventually talk shit about other comedians who aren't in the room. Magicians absolutely do that.
I'm sure. That's everyone. Just so you know, too, that music is also that.
Yeah, that's so much fun because I'll be like, oh, how about this famous magician? They'll be like, fucking hack, and they'll talk about it, and they're like, oh, like there's one in particular that keeps getting brought up. His name rhymes with Bangel, and they say a lot of things about the man.
Yes. I mean, at this point, I think a lot of those things have leaked out into the public opinion. At this point, I think it's fair to say that.
Yep.
You don't have to look too hard for those things these days.
Yeah, that's some of the most fun with me, because gossip's always fun, and like hearing them behind the scenes.
Especially when it's not you.
Right. We're like, we're talking.
Like, finally, someone talking about shit on somebody else's time.
Because it's that thing where like. If you're hanging out with a bunch of comics and they're talking shit about all these other comedians, you go like, wait, so if I leave the room, are they all gonna look around and be like, fucking Brad? Like, oh, we get it. You're a dwarf. It's funny. Like, oh God.
How long is he gonna ride that stick?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's your hook. It's like, I didn't choose it.
It chose me.
It chose me. I'm kind of working with it. It's like, I'm sure like some band leaves and they're like, how many times are you gonna play A, C, and D? Like, just like, get it.
Amongst us, it's more with my brothers and stuff in the band. We all know it. As soon as one of the bandmates is out of the room, he's getting shit talked.
Yeah. There you
like,
go.
and one time I actually called him out. I was like, all right, I'm going to leave the room right now so you guys could go talk some shit on me.
Yeah.
And it was like, everyone went, oh, wow, we really do that. I'm like, yeah, we all do it. When you're not there, I talk shit on you. When you're not there, we talk shit on you.
I thought everybody here liked me. We do.
But we're still going to talk. It's all in love.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah. And it's the thing where if someone who wasn't in the band just happened to be back hanging with you, if you left and they were like, yeah, fucking Christ is a piece of shit, like that. But
that would be a
like,
squash.
Yeah, what's that?
That would get squashed real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Then they all look like, hey, no, we're allowed to say that shit.
Not you.
Not you. Who the fuck are you?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's something that I love is that it's like your siblings, it's like your best friends, where you're like, oh man, you're talking shit about them. You don't like them? No, I love them.
Right.
I love them. That's why I'm allowed to do this. You, someone who has not known these people, don't know what they're about, you are not allowed to do this. And
right.
Especially not in front of me. It's like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he's my piece of shit. Okay, right. Like,
and that goes for every life, every walk of life, right? Sure. You have those groups,
family, friends. Yeah, I got my friends where they're not in show business or anything like that, and yeah, they have their flaws, but they're loyal as hell, and I love them to death. And if I don't ever say anything bad about them, we have a text group where we say the worst things about each other. But if anyone else said anything, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then we'd have to have words.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, we're getting into a little bit of fighting there.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit of wrestling.
Okay, let's go.
So before we were talking, you did Chris Jericho's cruise.
Yeah, the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, the heavy metal, pro wrestling, comedians, all on a boat.
Right.
To me, that's my wet dream. That's everything I'm into. I'm into metal. I'm into wrestling. I'm into comedy. It's pretty awesome.
Which one? Because this is an annual cruise they did. Yep. Obviously, he had to during the pandemic had to shut it down for a little bit or postpone it.
And then he did one. We were one of the. I think for Norwegian, we were the first boat out since the pandemic, and they tested absolutely everyone. You had to provide either proof of vaccination or a negative test to even get on the boat. And then before you got on the boat, you were tested again. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, someone could probably do a deep dive on Reddit, but from what I understand, no one tested positive, and we didn't have any positive cases on the boat.
Right on.
So it was amazing, and that was at a time where
that was a big deal.
And once everyone tested negative, and we were all on the boat, we're like, oh my God. We're on a boat. Everyone's negative.
We just
cool.
Hang. We just hang.
Yeah, we just hang. Walk around.
This is our bubble.
Yeah, this is our bubble right here. And our bubble has a lot of food and a lot of booze and a lot of metal and wrestling and comedy. Like this is heaven. It was a really cool feeling, and those concerts on that boat was like the first concert I had been to post-pandemic. I keep saying post because we're kind of still in it, but it was really cool. And Chris is one of the nicest guys in the world, and and just he's so involved in everything. He goes to all the shows. He'll go to my comedy show, then he'll go see this other band, then he'll go see this the Ghost Hunters, then he'll go see the all-female Guns N' Roses tribute band, then he'll go do his show, then he'll go do his other show, then it's crazy.
We talked a little bit about this off air, how much this guy hustles. We're friends with Chris. I've known him many years now.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure that he doesn't have a clone or a couple of them, because he's all over. Like, to your point, like even on that boat, I mean, there had to be at least one other Chris.
Yeah, it's like Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. Like
great movie, by the way.
Underrated.
Let's go.
Underrated reference.
Yeah.
And especially like because you had the one who was the copy of the copy who was like not all there.
That was a great role.
Yeah, that was a great role. I bet he had the most fun with that one. But he's got just now he did AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. He saw my show Cirque du Soleil on Thursday. Today's, as we're recording this, is Friday. He's flying out to Nashville to do a show, not even with Fozzy, with his Kiss cover band Quarantine, spelled with a Q. And then he's flying back to do AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view on Sunday, and I'm just like, bro, you make me feel lazy as fuck.
And when I saw him in Orange County, I saw him do a Fozzy show. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, we're on the bus. We're doing 5 shows a night. Or 5 shows a week of Fozzy shows. I was like,
and you're singing.
Still going to singing every night, still going to AEW.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know how he does it.
And you're like, how does he look so good? It's like, because he's never stops moving.
That's got to be.
At some point, he's got to get a workout in. At some point,
right?
He still got his arms the size of my freaking head.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what he's doing, man. But yeah, if it came out that like, oh no, Chris is one of triplets,
it would make sense. I wouldn't even bat an eye.
I'd be like, yeah. I'm actually more comforted by that knowledge than the knowledge that it's all
because it makes you feel inferior.
Yeah, like what are you doing, man?
I think I'm pretty busy, but like, you know, what the fuck?
I'm doing 10 shows a week with Cirque, 2 a night, and then for five nights, and then I'm like, that's pretty good, and then Chris is like, 10 shows a week.
Yeah.
Cute.
And it's all in one place?
One place? I'm on the plane, I'm on the bus, I'm on the I'm sure he takes a jetpack somewhere. Like, yeah, the man's incredible, and his work ethic is insane. And
right.
It's like humbling and inspiring and disappointing, like all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, speaking on the AEW stuff too, I wanted to get into. You're current with everything right now. Or you've been too busy to watch some of the stuff.
I am current. I am up.
Okay.
I'm
so
good.
What do you think about this coming pay-per-view? It's pretty stacked.
Yeah.
There's going to be. I mean, are you leaning towards Paak? Are you leaning towards Paige?
Oh God, there's.
By the time this comes out too, I'll be able to call you back on it and be like, you were wrong, motherfucker. I got it on camera.
You got it wrong. Man, there's so many matches on that card. Anything. Like I'm really loving the new tag team of Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. That's a fun tag team, and it's sort of like the quickness and the power with the same like.
Isn't it great though that 3-way tag match? Each team has that going on for them. You got Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus.
Yep.
You got Ricky Starks.
Yep.
And
Hobbs.
That's right.
Yeah. And they all have the power guy and then the quick guy. And
it's fucking pretty cool.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that match. Obviously looking forward to the championship match. Really excited for the Wardlow MJF storyline. I'm digging Wardlow, man. I'm really happy for the guy.
So you're Team Wardlow?
I'm like, it's weird because I'm Team Wardlow, but at the same time, as a wrestling fan and as just a fan of storytelling, I know one of the main reasons why Wardlow is so over right now is because of MJF. Because he's such a good bad guy. Fuck, he is a good bad guy.
That is why I am Team MJF.
Well, yeah, but you're a Raiders fan, so you like the bad guys.
Fuck yeah. Oh, we're going to get to that in a second, motherfucker. You fucking Broncos, motherfucker.
AFC West is going to be fire this year.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
Oh,
we're going to have a lot of texts with each other this season, I think.
Every week is going to be like, hey, then Khalil Mack comes back to the division, but he's at the Chargers. So now he's a neutral enemy.
The Chiefs are still the fucking Chiefs.
They're still the Chiefs. The Chiefs. How is it every team in the AFC West loaded up both on defense and on offense?
Right. Every team in the division.
Every team got weapons. The Chiefs lost one of the best weapons in the NFL.
And we still got to watch out for them.
And we're still like, well, they're probably still the number one. That's how good they are.
Well, it's because they got fucking Mahomes.
They got Mahomes.
When you got Mahomes,
Kelsey.
it's like, and Kelsey,
Yeah.
I mean, I think because of what they've done is why we think that.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel as the season gets a little closer, it's going to surprise some people how loaded the AFC West is and how anemic they're going to look.
I hope
so. But it just means that. But I keep saying whoever makes it out.
Yeah.
If it's 3, 2, 1 teams that make it out of the West,
might be in the playoffs.
No one is going to want to see them in the playoffs if they're healthy.
If they're healthy, if they still have their main parts. I've heard some deep analysis on the Chiefs that actually losing Tyreek Hill makes them better.
I don't understand that.
And that sounds weird. I'll try to explain. I'm not an NFL player, obviously. I don't look like one. Maybe the ball. But
Jesus.
Someone said so how you beat the Chiefs last year is you played against Patrick Mahomes' ego, where you rushed 3, you dropped everyone into coverage, and you made them have to do short passes. Like they can only do 2, 3.
Which worked at the beginning of the season.
Yes, and then you absolutely cut off the deep ball, and eventually Mahomes' ego gets in the way, and he's got Tyreek Hill, and he goes for that deep ball. Now, and that's how you would play defense against the Chiefs. Now, without that deep threat, now it's like, now they're going to be playing more of a mid-game, and now everything's on the table, so you don't know how you're going to defend that, whereas before you knew how to defend it. I explained it very poorly.
No, I think you did a good job, because it does make sense in a lot of. I mean, I played Pee Wee in high school football,
okay.
So I was really knowledgeable. But and I played on the line.
Yeah.
So, but it does make a lot of sense, because that's how they got to the AFC Championship last year. Is they stopped going to Tyreek, which was a problem. It pissed him off. Yeah. And that was the reason why he's no longer there. I mean, that's all speculation, but it's pretty easy to see.
So now they're all gonna go with and they're like, well, yeah, but that style of football doesn't work. Really? That's Brady's whole career.
Yeah, the GOAT.
Minus,
speaking of people who are just too good at fucking everything.
Minus Randy Moss, that's Brady's whole career, is like the 7-8 yard passes, like that mid game. And yes, good at everything. He's already the richest announcer in the history of football, and he's never announced a game. Fuck you, Brady. God.
I've always
just jealousy.
It's total jealousy, but I have a little, as a Raiders fan, that tuck rule, that was a fucking fumble, and it started his whole fucking career off the backs of my fucking, at the time, Oakland Raiders. And so I hated him for so long, and then I just came back to it, and I'm just like, I became an adult. Yeah. And I realized, what am I hating this guy for? He just wins.
Yeah, you gotta respect him. Did you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 on the tuck rule?
I haven't yet.
Did you hate watch it? No,
I haven't yet. I'm going to. I just
don't let anything breakable be around your house.
Well, then he came out afterward on his own TikTok or whatever, and was like, he's like, it was a fumble. I'm like, we all fucking already knew that.
We all knew that. We all knew that.
It's not a secret, motherfucker.
One thing that I did watch that, and it actually, because I've heard the tuck rule. I've heard that so many times, but it actually breaks down what that rule actually is. And first of all, stupid fucking rule. Right. Secondly, and it's a stupid fucking rule, because after that game, they're like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this rule. And
just like in the playoffs last season. Yeah. Oh, the referee blew the whistle too far. Oh, we're not gonna let him ref the rest of the playoffs, but you're still out.
Yeah, but you're still out.
Fuck you, dude.
What? Yeah. There are times where I take, obviously, being an AFC West Broncos fan, great joy in the downfall of the Raiders, but at the same time, I go like, oh, that sucks.
It's hard to be a Raiders fan, man.
That sucks.
But I'm still true, baby.
Hey, man. But that's how you're a fan. You have to be with them in the downtimes. You gotta be with them in the uptimes. You guys look like an exciting team this year. You got a lot of defensive pieces, bringing in Devontae Adams. It's
gonna be, woo! It's gonna be on, dude. It's gonna be on. I mean, you guys brought in Russell Wilson to be thrown to Judy too. That's gonna be a problem. You already had a good defense,
and now we added the tackle, the defensive tackle, the run stop guy from the 49ers, and Gregory from the Cowboys. Did I get that right? I don't know. Number 5.
You would know better than me. I'm busy paying attention to the silver and black.
Yeah.
We're in Vegas, by the way.
We are in Vegas.
Are you gonna? Have you been to Allegiant Stadium yet?
I haven't been yet. I'm excited to go. Because I wouldn't go to the Coliseum to root for the team that wasn't the Raiders. I would not do that. I think I'll go to Allegiant. I feel safer, and I think that's gonna be my last words. Where I actually feel safe.
Well, don't wear the Broncos hat. That's if you go to the hole. Just don't go to the hole with the Broncos hat.
No, I will not go to
everywhere else. I think you'll be fine.
Should be okay. But and also have your rules, okay? If you go to the opposing stadium, if you wear a jersey or a hat, that's fine. But just don't be a dick. Be there. watch your team. If your team does something good, go
cheer for
yeah.
them. That's all you're gonna do.
That's what you do. Broncos score a touchdown against the Raiders of the Legion. I'll be like,
it's also that rivalry between, specifically in the AFC West, between the Broncos and the Raiders.
Sure.
That is the rivalry in the AFC West. A lot of youngsters don't realize that because it's been a long time since both of them were together and on top. But
both good. Yeah, it's been Chiefs for goodness. But yeah, it's like be respectful. You're in someone else's house, just do a little. And then if some guy wearing a Raiders jersey or the other jersey talks shit to you, just kind of go, yeah, you're right. Just do that. Swallow your pride.
Enjoy the fucking game.
Yeah, it's like the Dave Chappelle sketch, when keeping it real goes wrong. Like, never be like, I've got to defend the honor of the Broncos. John Elway's not bailing you out of jail. Okay, like, you're not going to be like, He said Judy's lost a step, so I had to punch him. No, they're not. No, they're not gonna help you out there. So yeah, just be respectful.
Right. Well, on that, I am excited for the new season. We're
absolutely
obviously going to be texting each other about every game. We got to catch a game together this year.
Oh, that'd be fun.
We've been talking about it for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
There was also a couple of things that got in the way, but
yeah.
Now hopefully we could get back to it.
Absolutely. No, I love going to games with a friend who's like the fan of the other team.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
Like it's a great time. I love doing it. I mean, I even enjoyed going to the Super Bowl where the Broncos lost against the Seahawks with my buddy Adam Ray, who's a lifelong diehard Seahawks fan.
Wow.
So I got to spend $5,000 to watch the thing I love most in the world before my wife and daughter to get destroyed in front of my face.
Not even just like an acquaintance friend, a very, very close friend.
Very close friend.
That hurts even more.
Because that's the friend, like, an acquaintance might be like, all right, I can't cheer too loud because I don't want them to feel bad. The close friend's like, fuck yeah, fuck you. And then they keep going, which will be us. Everyone will think that we're about to fight. And then, and then we'll have to look back like, no.
It's good.
Yeah, we're good.
I can't wait for that. But I mean, Adam's killing it, by the way. You brought him up, so I want to give props to Adam. And have you been watching him on the Young Rock?
Young Rock. He's doing.
Dude, that's awesome.
He's doing Vince. He's in this new show on Hulu where he's Nixon's press secretary.
Right, I saw some of that. Yeah.
He was in Pam and Tommy playing Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Like, dude's got range, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome. I really enjoy whether it be Chris Jericho, Adam Ray, yourself. I enjoy having talented friends where it's like, because, it would suck if your friends were like, hey, what'd you think of my album, my show, my whatever? And you're like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Like,
how many times have you had to do that?
That's good. It's good. Oh, your album. No, it's great. It's great. It's great.
Well, I did see that he's doing Adam. I just want to give a prop out to this too. He's part of that charity basketball thing that's going on. And it looks really cool.
To Seattle. Yeah. It's like he and I played on the Celebrity All-Star game, the NBA Celebrity All-Star game, which was incredible. Like, he had some points. I had an assist to Ray Allen, which is like,
wow, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's weird. And I hate the Celtics, but man, that felt good. So now he's doing this charity game. If you look on his Instagram, you'll find an insane lineup. So it's cool, man. It's nice when friends that you
see him succeed,
care about, you see him succeed, you see him do amazing things, and it's great. It's like I said, it's nice to have talented friends where you're not lying when you say I'm a fan of the work.
Right.
It's awesome. That's why
I'll let you know after I check out Mad Apple.
You'll be like, it's good. It's good. Jokes.
So I know you already said you had. He just asked you to be funny. Did you personally then decide to change up your comedy at all, or
a little bit?
A little bit. Okay.
There's some stuff that's more geared towards the actual show, but that's one of the cool parts about being a stand-up in a Cirque show. The guy on the wheel of death can't really change it up. Like, he can't be like, you know what, we're gonna go the other. Like he's got to do specific things. The timing of certain things has to be the same every night. Me, something happens in the news, I can talk about it. I can be like, oh, Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock. All right, let's do some jokes about that, And I could, my act can change and can adjust, and based on the flow of the show, how I feel it's going, if the audience is crazier, I could be like, oh, I might be able to go a little dirtier with this crowd. Like they're fine with it. You know, if the audience is a little stuck up, I'm like, okay, stick to the safe jokes. They'll have a good time with that. And so I like the fact that my act can change, and that'll also keep me interested. Like it's not gonna be the same jokes every night. So I'm stoked, man. Well, yeah, doing two shows a night, five days a week. I better change it up, or else I'm gonna go insane. Like to say the same shit every time.
No, totally.
So I'm excited, and if you guys come out on Saturday, then great.
I'm actually gonna come check it out on Saturday. Last couple things though before I let you go.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you hate the Celtics. We're good. We're good there.
There you go.
So assuming the Celtics do make it out of the East, which looks like it's gonna happen.
Go Warriors.
All right. Well, I was gonna ask. All right. You answered the question.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
110%.
So yeah, go Warriors. Go Steph Curry. Bomb it in. Draymond, throw some elbows on Smart. Lockdown.
Do whatever you got to do. Just don't let the
whatever.
Celtics get another championship
I can't.
and even it with the fucking Lakers.
I can't have all my Boston guys like, yo, the fucking Celtics, we don't even have a fucking superstar. You guys got all the money and the superstar. We got.
Oh, they're gonna say that while they have Jason fucking Tatum.
Fucking blue collar work ethic, dude. It's a blue collar fucking team.
Did you watch Winning Time?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I watched it, loved it, enjoyed it. I love how they're making Larry Bird look like a dick. I love.
They're not really painting too many great pictures, though. Either.
No. There's this guy in the Lakers that just did a lot of crack. I was not aware of that.
I wasn't either.
Until this show, and I did some research. I'm like, oh, they didn't exaggerate that one.
Yeah. Well, we were both born in '84, so this is like the middle of this happening. Although I was able to, as a huge Laker fan, I went back and watched a lot of stuff. But you don't know.
But we weren't like 4 going like, I think he's sweating a little excessively. For even a basketball player, that's a lot of sweat.
Hey, Mommy, is there something wrong with his nose?
Yeah. Something falling out of there? That's weird. But yeah, I really enjoyed that show. It is interesting to look back and be like, wait, did that really happen? And then Google it and go, no, that did not happen. They just totally blew it up and made it a thing.
That is funny. I mean, they're doing a good job with it. They're making it entertainment. They got to do that, right? There's going to be some fabrications and none of that stuff is most of that stuff is not documented.
Right.
So, it's
so
like
you can't for sure say yes, this happened. No, it did not happen. But either way, like it's entertaining.
Right.
I sit back and I go, it's entertainment. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it is. And it is fun to look at the show and be like, oh, did that? Like I remember, they were like, oh, the first game against the Celtics, Michael Cooper had a buzzer beater, and I'm like, he did? I don't remember that. And then I looked and I found the game. Like, no, it didn't end on a buzzer beater. Lakers won by 8. So what the fuck? But they're making the show what it is, and I'm very entertained by it. John C. Reilly is killing it.
That guy, he's an amazing actor.
Give him all
of course.
the Emmys.
Yes.
All the Emmys for
and he is so fit for that role.
It'd be weird if I was Jeannie Buss watching this show. I don't know if she is watching the show, but because he's looking so much like Dr. Jerry. He looks like her dad.
Oh, I wonder though, just like when you have someone that is that close to you, you don't think they actually look that close to them when they're playing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That might be the
but
case
to
too.
Us,
but for us,
it's like that guy's a spitting image.
And the actor who's playing Magic has got
so
that
good.
magic smile.
Yeah,
he's got that I think that must have been like the whole audition. Like, hey, you're playing Magic Johnson. First of all, are you black? We can't do that much to change. We can't Second question: do you have a good smile? And you have to have that Magic Johnson smile that lights up the room, and he does, man. That guy's doing a great job.
I think that whole cast is great. I hope they do another season of it, but
they have to, man. It's a hit.
They ended it on fucking Magic, but that did happen when he came up in center and finished it out in Philly.
Yeah. That did happen.
Magic, baby.
That did happen where he's like, our rookie guard is going to play center. That did happen. So that part was like, you guys better include this. That's the most dramatic part.
Baby. That's another thing.
Baby.
We're gonna go to a Lakers
We'll
game.
bond.
We're gonna go to a Raiders game, not a Broncos game.
Yeah.
And
we'll go to Raiders Broncos. Maybe I went to Broncos Chargers in LA with a Raiders fan. So he was watching Broncos Chargers.
Yeah.
And like he had a great time because the Chargers just like blew out the Broncos. So I'm just sitting next to him and he's like, like it was horrible. Once again, spending money to watch the thing I love get destroyed. But yes, it was a good time. We'll definitely go to some games. It'll be fun.
yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we'll see each other over Rampage here in a minute too.
Yeah.
Some AEW shit.
We
gotta get
it
going.
starts in an hour. I gotta go pick up my tickets.
Well, let's get the fuck out of here. Thanks again for being on the show, Brad.
Yeah, man.
Everyone go check out Matt Apple and Brad Williams everywhere. He's really easy to find, man.
Yeah.
As always, till next time. Cheers.